Champions League Matchday. I mean, wow, just wow. Upsets left and right, tactical masterclasses, you name it.
It was definitely one for the books.
Yeah, if you're looking for predictable outcomes, this was not the week for it. Thankfully, though, we've got Tips Moto's analysis to help us make sense of it all. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. It feels like we're not just talking about individual brilliance anymore. It's about the managers, the tactics, the teams that prepared to exploit every weakness.
Okay, so let's jump right into it with Arsenal's 2-0 victory over PSG. Now, on the surface, you might think, all right, Arsenal won, so what? But trust me, this was anything but ordinary.
Exactly. This was a statement win for Arsenal.
100%. And the way they shut down PSG's star-studded attack is what has everyone talking.
It's true. This wasn't a fluke. Arsenal's defense was organized, disciplined, airtight. They pressed at exactly the right moments, disrupting PSG's flow. In fact, Tips Moto's data shows PSG only managed a paltry 0.38 expected goals, or XG.
Which, for our listeners who might not be familiar with XG, basically means...
It means PSG barely had any clear-cut chances. Think about it. They had 61% possession, but they couldn't convert that dominance into real opportunities. That's down to Arsenal's tactical discipline.
Almost like that old saying, you can have all the possession in the world, but...
But you can't win if you don't score.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of unexpected beatdowns, Benfica didn't just beat Atletico Madrid, they demolished them 4-0.
I mean, wow, talk about a statement. This is Simeone's Atletico Madrid we're talking about, a team practically built on defensive resilience. To see them concede 4 goals is...
Almost unheard of, right? So what happened? Did Atletico just forget how to defend?
Not necessarily. Benfica were simply firing on all cylinders. Their attack was relentless. We're talking a whopping 2.42 XG. They were creating high-quality chances left and right. And let's not forget those 2 penalties. Set pieces can be a game changer, especially against a team like Atletico that prides itself on discipline.
Yeah, those penalties really shifted the momentum. But even beyond that, Benfica were just relentless. Atletico never really stood a chance. And, you know, we can't talk about Champions League shockers without mentioning Aston Villa taking down Bayern Munich. Seriously, talk about a blast from the past. It felt like we were transported back to 1982 when Villa last conquered Europe.
Right, and just like back then, they achieved it with a combination of grit, determination, and tactical genius.
Right, absolutely. Bayern might have dominated possession with 62%, but Villa were the ones who made their chances count.
Their XG was 1.85 compared to Bayern's 1.02, which tells you everything you need to know.
It's like they had Bayern's number figured out. Soak up the pressure, pick their moments, and then bam strike with clinical precision.
And we can't forget Emiliano Martinez in goal for Villa. He was absolutely immense.
He was incredible. Pulled off some world-class saves to deny Bayern time and time again. But, you know, Bayern's vulnerability wasn't just exposed against Villa. They were really put to the sword by Lille.
Okay, that was a result for the ages. Lille ending Real Madrid's 36-game unbeaten run. I mean, talk about an upset.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
How did they manage to pull that off? Did Real just have an off day, or was there something more to it?
This wasn't about luck. This was a tactical masterclass from Lille. They knew they couldn't match Real Madrid's firepower pound for pound, so they opted for a different approach. They pressed high, defended deep, and suffocated Real's midfield.
They completely disrupted Real's rhythm. And the stats paint a very clear picture. Real Madrid only managed an XG of 0.91. That's almost unheard of for a team of their caliber.
Jallo was like a wall at the back for Lille, winning every header, making crucial interceptions. And then there was Baliba in midfield dictating play-launching attacks. He was everywhere.
It just goes to show that even giants like Real Madrid can be vulnerable if you exploit their weaknesses.
Exactly. And that's what makes the Champions League so compelling. On any given night, any team can rise to the occasion.
Okay, but it's not just about luck, right? It takes meticulous planning, tactical flexibility, and players who are willing to leave it all out on the pitch.
You got it. Now, speaking of tight margins, Leverkusen's 1-0 win against AC Milan might not seem as dramatic as some of the other results we've discussed, but it highlights a crucial aspect of this competition.
Which is?
Taking your chances. Both teams had their moments in that match. Both created opportunities, but in the end, it was Boniface's goal that separated the two sides.
It was a tense affair, wasn't it?
It really was, and if you look at the XG Milan, actually edged it slightly, 1.08, compared to Leverkusen's 1.14. So they'll be wondering how they didn't come away with at least a point.
Football can be a cruel game sometimes.
Yep.
You can dominate possession, create chances, but if you don't convert, it all counts for nothing.
That's the beauty of it, though, right? The fine margins, the unexpected twists and turns, it keeps us on the edge of our seats.
You know, after all these crazy results, I gotta say, it feels like we're in uncharted territory. Like the old playbook has been thrown out the window.
It really does. It's anyone's game at this point.
Exactly. And that begs the question, what does this tell us about the rest of the tournament?
Buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride.
No more guarantees for the big names.
It seems that way, doesn't it? This Champions League season is shaping up to be something special. And it all comes down to one thing: tactical flexibility.
You said it's teams can't just rely on individual talent anymore.
Nope. They need a system, a plan, and they need to be able to adapt that plan on the fly.
It's like a game of chess out there.
100%. Every move matters.
Yeah.
And the teams that can anticipate their opponent's strategies and react accordingly are the ones who are going to come out on top.
We've already seen some brilliant examples of that. Arsenal neutralizing PSG, Lille stifling Real Madrid.
Yeah.
These underdogs are proving that with the right approach, anything is possible.
And that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? The unpredictability, the drama, the feeling that on any given night, any team can pull off a shock result.
It's what keeps us coming back for more. But here's the million-dollar question. If adaptability is the key, who's ultimately going to come out on top? Which teams have what it takes to maintain this level of tactical innovation?
That's what I'm excited to see unfold. Will the old guard adapt? Or will we see a changing of the guard?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, we're in for one heck of a ride. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Match Day 3 of the Champions League.